Welcome to today's explainer. So, picture this. You've been in an accident, you file an insurance claim, and now you're just waiting for the paperwork to clear. You're probably thinking everything is going smoothly, just a simple administrative process, right? Well, I want you to treat this session as your strategic consultation, because behind the scenes, things are often way more complex. Today, I'm putting on my advisor hat to help you navigate this and protect your legal rights during an insurance claim. Okay, let's dive right into this.
This brings us to the absolutely critical question you need to ask yourself right out of the gate. Is your insurance adjuster watching you? We really need to shatter the illusion that this is just a simple passive process. Now, legitimate claims are paid out every single day, for sure, but insurance companies have a duty to verify the accuracy of every single claim. And to do that, adjusters are actively working behind the scenes. They're gathering facts, evaluating evidence, and hunting for inconsistencies that could reduce your compensation or lead to an outright denial. You might not see them, but they are absolutely looking closely at you.
Here's our itinerary for today's explainer. We're going to cover the investigation process, errors that delay claims, the social media trap, surveillance tactics, and finally, how to protect your rights.
Let's move right into Section 1, Errors that Delay Claims.
The literal second a claim crosses a desk, adjusters are actively looking for unintentional missteps that act as immediate red flags. We're talking about things like delayed reporting, waiting weeks to actually let them know what happened, or maybe large compensation requests that don't quite match the initial report. Then there's missing documentation, inconsistent statements, and contradictory evidence. Now, as your advisor, I want to be perfectly clear. Having one of these red flags doesn't mean an automatic denial of your claim. No way. But what it absolutely does is invite a much deeper, more rigorous investigation. It effectively tells the adjuster, hey, we need to put a magnifying glass on this one.
Let's look at how this builds over time. An adjuster is meticulously tracking your story. First, they look at the initial accident report you file, then they compare it to your official recorded statement, and finally, they cross-reference all of that with your medical evaluation. They're hunting for changing details, missing information, or timeline inconsistencies across those multiple conversations. If your written statement says one thing happened, but a witness says something slightly different, or your medical evaluation points to a completely different timeline, that discrepancy is going to cause a massive delay.
So the crucial takeaway here is this. Accuracy is critical. You absolutely must avoid speculation if you're unsure about the details of your accident. Many claimants assume that a recorded statement over the phone is just an informal chat with a friendly representative. Actually, scratch that. It is not informal at all. They are documenting everything carefully to establish the facts. Even a tiny discrepancy between what you guess might have happened and what the evidence actually shows can severely delay your payout or drastically affect how your claim is evaluated. Stick to the absolute facts you know for sure.
That brings us to Section 2, the social media trap.
I want to shift gears to what is undoubtedly one of the most surprising and honestly kind of facepalm-inducing self-inflicted wounds in the entire claims process. Take a look at this comparison. On one side, we have the official claim. The individual states they cannot perform physical activities due to their injury. But on the other side, we have a public social media post where they're tagged in a weekend sports photo. People completely forget that public posts on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or X can and will become part of a claim review. If you're claiming a severe physical limitation, a single post of you doing something strenuous completely undermines your stated injuries, even if you were literally just holding the softball bat for a friend.
I want you to read this quote carefully. Even if the photo lacks context, it may raise concerns. This is exactly what trips people up. You might think, well, I was just posing for the picture. I wasn't actually playing the sport. But the adjuster doesn't need the full context initially. Any contradictory public video or photograph is enough to threaten your legal rights and immediately trigger a deep dive review. This is exactly why experts recommend extreme caution regarding what you, or even your friends, post while an active claim is under review.
Which leads us directly into Section 3, Surveillance Tactics.
So if red flags are raised from social media or your statements, or if we're dealing with a really high-value and disputed case, insurers will move from desk investigations to deeper field investigations. But before we look at those tactics, we need to demystify why insurers do this. It all comes down to risk management, which is simply the practice of identifying and analyzing potential risks to prevent financial loss or fraud. From the insurer's perspective, putting a claimant under surveillance is not a personal vendetta against you. It's just a standard business practice designed to verify the truth and prevent fraud. Understanding this helps you navigate the whole process without taking it personally while still keeping you highly vigilant.
Here's how that investigation actually escalates. Step 1 is reviewing public records. They check your background, your history, looking for any past claims. Step 2 moves out into the field with formal witness interviews and physical site inspections of where the incident occurred. And finally, Step 3 is professional surveillance. Yes, literally hiring investigators to observe your activities. Again, they don't deploy this for every minor fender bender, but for high-value claims, they will absolutely use these escalating levels of deep investigation to ensure the physical evidence matches the exact claim being made.
But investigators aren't just looking through camera lenses from down the street, they are also heavily scrutinizing your paper trail. They'll constantly ask, are there gaps in your treatment? In injury-related claims, adjusters meticulously comb through your medical records, doctor evaluations, hospital reports, and recovery timelines. They're trying to verify two core things. Was the injury actually caused by the accident, and how serious is it really? Any gap in treatment or conflicting information from different doctors is going to lead to some major questions.
All right, let's talk solutions. Section 4, protecting your rights.
Knowing all of these traps, how do we actually defend against them? Well, this is your action plan, designed to empower you to take control of your claim and confidently avoid every single adjuster trap we've just discussed. Consider this your bulletproof advisor's checklist. First, document absolutely everything. Keep meticulous copies of all medical records, receipts, photographs, the whole shebang. Second, be laser accurate in your statements. Never guess, never speculate. Third, seek prompt medical attention. Don't create those gaps in your treatment timeline that we just talked about. If you're hurt, go to a doctor immediately. And fourth, be hyper-mindful of your public online posts. Just assume the adjuster is seeing everything you put on the internet.
I want to leave you with this final provocative thought to ponder today. Will your online footprint protect or destroy your claim? We've seen how quickly a simple photo, taken completely out of context, can unravel a perfectly legitimate case. The small actions you take today, the consistency of your story, and the way you manage your public life can make a massive difference in whether your claim is fairly processed or fiercely denied. Stay informed, stay prepared, and fiercely protect your rights. Thank you for joining me for this explainer, and keep these strategies in your back pocket next time you have to file a claim.